I just returned from a perfume history tour in Paris, and I'm going to show you everything that I brought home with me. It's a lot. Start with the antiques and the vintage bottles. First up, my friend got me this beautiful Avon Belle, as well as a Schiaparelli scarf. You know how much I love Schiaparelli. There's the logo right there. And then at one of the flea markets, I actually got this 70-year-old bottle of Chanel No. 5, and it still has just the tiniest little whisper of perfume left inside. I also found these two antique Coty bottles. I have Diamant and Emerald, which turned out to be so fortuitous because we went to the Osmotek later on in the trip and they talked about Coty, so that was really exciting. Okay, so those were the antiques. Next I'm going to talk about the things that I made. So going on the trip, I wanted to make friendship perfumes, you know, instead of friendship jackets, friendship perfumes, my love language. Since we were taking a trip to Paris, I called it Together in Paris. Where you at, my Anastasia fans? And it smells like strawberry macaroon as well as cherry blossom. And then what I like to tell people is a vintage Chanel or YSL purse, just very leathery, like a night out on the Parisian town. Okay, next was Fragonard. We made one of our first perfume stops at Fragonard's Perfume Museum, and we also took a workshop where we made our own eau de cologne. And it was delightful. It was about an hour and a half, and everybody got to make a 100-milliliter bottle of their own cologne. Mine was called Petitgrain Punch because I'm a rebel and didn't listen to the perfumer who was teaching the class and decided that I was just going to overdose it with Petitgrain. I like Petitgrain. Here we go. I'm pleased with it. I also bought a set of 5 perfumes at Fragonard. I love these little gold bottles that they come in. And I got a nice mix. I got Rose Lavande, Jasmine Pearl de Thé, Belle Cherie, Belle de Nuit, and Melody. I guess I like the rhyming one. Okay, next up I have some kind of major perfume purchases, and these two are really funny because I actually didn't like either of the samples of these perfumes pre-Paris, but I brought the samples with me to Paris, and I don't know if the air is different in Paris, but I love them. So I bought Celine Night Clubbing and Guerlain's Tobacco Honey. I don't know why it was different, but the staying power was insane, and they both smelled really good on me the entire time that I was there. So I was like, you know what, YOLO, take it home full bottle. Next up, let's talk about one of my days in Versailles, because there were several. And after the tour that we took, we went to the gift shop, and there were so many Marie Antoinette perfumes. I bought a selection. I got Tendre Revance, Rose de France, and Bouquet de Trianon. These all smell really nice, and it was my daughter's birthday. She just turned 11, so I figured I'd get her some Marie Antoinette perfume. Okay, next up was this amazing place called State of Mind. State of Mind actually pairs tea and perfume. It was just in the little village that's like right next to the Palace of Versailles, and you go in and they give you a selection of teas that you smell, and you make your decision on which one you want. You drink the tea, and then afterwards they come by and they spray it all around. It's a wonderful sensory experience. I highly recommend it if you ever make it out there. The tea that I selected was called French Gallantry, and this one actually reminds me of Tonka Imperial by Guerlain, which I just found out they're discontinuing. Not happy about it, because that is one of my signature scents, and I really liked it. It's got that kind of old money feel, which, you know, fun. I got it as a purse spray. But the one that I really enjoyed by them was called Spontaneous Generosity, and I bought a full-size bottle, and I just have to show you how beautiful their bottles are. They're just so stunning. They have the magnetic top. It was always so satisfying to put on and off. For this perfume the entire time that I was in Paris. I just absolutely loved it, and this is going to be a scent memory for me. This one is a milky amber. It's also got tonka bean and fig. It's just gorgeous. It's that perfect mix of sweet and spicy. Again, the brand is State of Mind. If you ever make it out to Versailles, I highly, highly recommend that you go and make a stop at their tea room and smell some perfumes. It was seriously one of the most fun things I've ever done. Next up is Karen, which I didn't even know that they were still making perfumes, to be quite honest. Follow me, you know that I am an antique perfume bottle collector, and I actually have Nuit de Noël by Karen. So imagine my surprise when I walked outside of my hotel one day and there's a Karen store right there. I was in heaven. Black Blonde is actually one of my all-time favorite vintage fragrances, and so when I went there, I went to, of course, smell what that smells like. As you know, reformulation, things have changed over the last century, and I ended up liking 2 from that series, and I bought them both. So the first one was Tobacco Noir, and just look how pretty. I love this whole presentation. It's so little pocket watches. They're so adorable. The second one that I got was Tobacco Exquis. I think it's Exquis. It might be Exquis. I don't actually know. But I really like this. It's very chocolatey, kind of oody. And when you pair the two together, oh my gosh, so yummy. Tobacco, chocolate, can't go wrong. So remember that I showed you the two antique Coty bottles that I got? Well, it turned out that Coty had a pop-up while I was in Paris. It's called Infiniment. It's gorgeous. One thing that was so cool about it was they had these giant flower sculptures and they each emitted perfume. Your nose up into the center of the flower and you would smell the perfume, and it was just so fun. They also had it organized so that it would be day to night in terms of, you know, when is the best time to wear a specific fragrance. I got a 5-pack of 10 milliliter scents. They were all really good, but I got Soleil de Ecosim, L'Amour Poupée, Aristo Chypre, J'ai Toi Amour, and Après l'Amour. I can't remember which one it was right now, but one of them had a banana note, and it's divine. I loved it. I'm going to do other videos specifically about the Coty pop-up, which is until September. So I want to say mid-September is when it will be going on until. Highly recommend if you are going to be in Paris for the Olympics or, you know, anytime in the summer, definitely go check it out because it's awesome. Okay, next up, I've done videos about the history of Luban before, and this is Black Jade. I have done a video about Black Jade. It's a recreation of Marie Antoinette's perfume. Everybody who comes into my shop loves this perfume. It's great. So I made it a point to stop at the Luban store since it has such a rich history, and I fully expected to get another from this line of fragrances. I love these bottles, but I actually went with Attique, which basically is a fig note, and it's wonderful. Like, this is a perfect summer fig. And it's funny because the other one that I was interested at the store, I can't remember the name of it right now because I smelled way too many things. But the other one that I was interested was very oody, very, very strong, which is, you know, what I like, but, you know, more of a fall situation. And I was like, well, I have so many of those, like, very smoky type of fragrances, so let me go with something a little bit more, you know, fig and green. And I realize now that, like, 2 of the other perfumes that I've already showed you have fig, so that wasn't very accurate, but I can't wait to wear this all summer long. Next, I have to tell you about my favorite niche fragrance store that I found in Paris. I was delighted to have found this place. It's called Marie Antoinette. It's in the Marais district, and Antoine, the owner, he is a delightful human being. When you walk in, he just kind of starts telling you stories about the different perfumes, and he is just an amazing storyteller. He looked at me and he was like, this is the type of perfume that I think you would like, and he just launched into the story, and it was accurate, and I loved every second of it. So at Marie Antoinette, I smelled a whole bunch of different things, but some of the perfumes that I picked up were the Moulin Rouge perfume by Histoire du Parfum. This is so fun. It smells like lipstick and lingerie, which is exactly what I would want from a Moulin Rouge perfume. It's lovely. Next, he introduced me to this brand called Ansgad, and I think he said it was a German brand. I could be mistaken. But what was really interesting about them is they do perfume based on different decades. And I was born in the 80s, and so I wanted to smell the 80s perfume. And yeah, it smelled like, you know, hairspray, leather jackets, and cocaine, so that was fun. But what I really liked was the 1930s perfume, which for anyone who knows me, like, that's definitely one of my favorite historical time periods. So yes, this reminds me of Marlene Dietrich and, like, lounge dresses, smoking one of those long cigarettes while you're sitting at a piano in a bar. I've been sick, so the words are not flowing right now. The other brand that I got to experience while I was there is one that one of my followers on here actually asked me about, and I was not familiar with them, and so I'm very excited because now I am. Oriza El Legrand. I really enjoyed this brand. They're another historical brand from the late 1800s, early 1900s. And what's interesting about this brand is that they basically reignited the brand about a decade ago. And this came after perfumers found information about the brand in a history book. And after I found this perfume at Marie Antoinette, the one that I got was called Le Regent. I can't do French accents, guys, I'm sorry. But anyway, after I smelled some of the perfumes there and got this one, I realized again they had a store that was right by my hotel. I went to the store, and I'll do a whole video on that. I was there for like an hour. I was asking the employee that was there, I think her name was Pauline. I asked her so many questions. She was delightful. Thank you so much, Pauline, for helping me. I bought 2 soaps and 2 perfumes, and I will actually unbox these later in a separate video. But the one in this blue box is the Louis XV perfume, and Empire des Indes, which was for Queen Victoria. And this is my samples haul, a lot of them. I'm going to be organizing these, and then I'll have them as like a scent library in my shop for anyone that wants to come smell some Guerlain and some Luban and other French goodies. And the last perfume that I bought, come with me because I forgot to bring it here to my office. Okay, I am back at home in bed because I flew too close to the sun and feeling tired again, but wanted to show you the bee bottle, my new precious. She's so beautiful. I got it engraved with Together in Paris, and there's a little Eiffel Tower. I don't think, you can't see it with the clip. Oh, there you go. There's a little Eiffel Tower right there, at the edge there. And this was a very, very bougie trip on purpose, because some friends and I were celebrating our collective 40th birthdays in the next year. And also I didn't die from cancer, so, I like to celebrate that as much as possible. So I opted for the custom bee bottle, and it's got gold on it, and it's so pretty. At first I was just gonna get the clear one, but I was like, no, this will not bring me enough joy. I need to have gold on it. And the fragrance that I got inside is Fève Gourmande. It's another chocolatey note. So basically, all of the perfumes that I bought are chocolate and fig. Apparently, that seems to be what I'm into at the moment. Not feeling bad about it. Feeling pretty great about it, actually. And yeah, so those are all the perfumes that I picked up in Paris. And like I said, I'll do some more videos about the individual stores and talk about some of the history, show you the Osmotek, which was like the coolest thing ever. But yeah, more to come.